Hi, my name's Daniel, and I'm out here in the middle of nowhere in Zion National Park, off a trail, so no one will find me. And I want to kind of teach you how to channel right now. You know, this is kind of impromptu, but I'm in the space. There's this beautiful wind right as I started this video. That's cool. Definitely an affirmation. So, how I usually channel for myself is one, I have cards. So, cards are really powerful, or writing. It's really hard for me to channel for myself through voice. I have in like when Spirit really wants to give me messages, but it's still kind of fuzzy. So, if you want to channel consistently, I always think automatic writing or cards, or both combined, especially, would be the best for you. Find a deck that calls to you. I would say a tarot deck is more powerful than an oracle deck, because the oracle deck kind of tells you what the message is very clearly, and there's a purpose to that. But I am being called to tell you that a tarot deck, especially, is more vague, and you can read it more. You don't just read the book. Like, the book might say something, and you can read the book, but it's not going to tell you everything. So, what you do first, if you have a meditation practice, do that before channeling, if possible, because you have to get, like, this is why I'm doing this video after a hike, because I am now not thinking, right? I've been connecting to myself, been connecting to, this beautiful nature, and now I can just bring through, right? So I do that too before making videos. But so after meditation, like earlier today, I was meditating. I do like car meditations when I'm road tripping, like this time. So I just play music that doesn't have words, and I sit with myself, or I just sit in silence. I kind of like the ambient music. And I did that, and I felt pain in my chest, pain in my stomach, went through processes, right, for an hour. And then I could receive the messages, and then magic starts happening, right? I go to Zion National Park. They give me the best backpacking campsite that's never available, and I meet the most amazing people, and I'm on this most amazing hike, and I just trust my intuition, right? So the same thing that happens if you meditate for an hour. Life is easier. Channeling is also much better too. So doing it after yoga or a hike or some kind of practice that you do. Don't usually, if you are in a bad state, I don't like the word bad state, but if you're in a negative emotional state, like you're feeling shame or sadness or fear or anger, which is great, I would recommend journaling until you feel better and then channel. So I've done that many, many times, because you need to get those emotions out first before doing the channeling. So doesn't mean anything's wrong. You're supposed to be feeling those emotions, but it's not the time to ask for guidance, right? The better you get, the more you're going to be able to center yourself really quickly. Like, if I really want to channel for someone, I can do that, even if I've been triggered like 5 minutes before, but that'll take time. Really, it's harder to channel for yourself than to channel for other people, because you're in the way. So writing is great. So the automatic writing part, the cards are pretty simple, right? You pick the cards, you read the book, and also create your own meaning. You usually find out what the cards mean later, but they'll give you an idea what's coming. I picked, the lover cards and relationship cards like a week before every relationship I started. Like, it's pretty consistent. So they're definitely right on. Like, it's pretty ridiculous. There's no rules to picking cards. Just pick the card. The universe will do it. Like, you don't have to put your energy. I don't know. I just pick a card. I just go through the deck and pick it. Like, you can do it however you want. And then a writing, what you do is you sit down with a piece of paper, and then what you do is you get into a centered space and just start writing before thinking. So what you're kind of doing, you can just typing too, is you're trying to beat your mind and just write. Just go. Kind of like if you're drawing, but you don't know where you're going to draw, and you just move your paper, right? But you do with words. So I try to write faster in my brain and just let it come through. If it's really negative, then you're probably still in a negative space and you're journaling. but anything else is going to be right on. For example, I've written that I need to move out of a house and it burnt down 2 weeks later. Like, this is how tapped in you can be. You can avoid things through your consciousness, right? So trust it. Trust what comes through. If it is wrong for some odd reason, who cares? You've had dumb ideas before, right? So then you just learn and you get more fine-tuned. But I don't think that's going to be the case. You'll know. And a lot of times it won't be very direct unless it's kind of an emergency. Unless it's time, right? Like if you're in a relationship, let's say, and you want to know if it's going to last a long time, usually what they'll say is just go with it, and then they'll tell you when it's going to end, exactly when it's going to end. But they won't tell you much before, right? Because we're being trained to be present. And just write, and you can ask questions and get answers too. So you write, and then you ask like, hey, like, what do I do about this situation? They might say like, hey, just go with the process. You'll know exactly, like, you'll get something, right? Sometimes very specific, not as often as you'd like. But the more you do it, the more you're going to trust it. So when it comes to intuition or channeling or your guidance, it's kind of like you're a scientist. So you just experiment and see if it works, right? Because if it tells you to go to Toys R Us and it doesn't work, you're not like hurt, right? Like you just test it with little things and then see if it works, and then continue and continue and continue to do it. But like I said before, you have to do the practices like the meditation and the journaling and the hiking and the being with yourself outside your phone and feeling your pain to be able to channel, because you will get the guidance and the magic after that. And I know that seems counterintuitive, but that's how it is. I heard something. So to summarize, I think that's the end. Meditate, go through that process. The magic comes after. Tarot cards are writing, and then follow that and test it, and then repeat the process. And the more you do the meditation, the easier it's going to get, and the more easier everything's going to get, right? Practice makes perfect, so be willing to fuck it up. Like, be willing to fuck up your channeling and fuck up your intuition. People have a weird perfectionism with intuition, and then they're like willing to follow their minds that are always wrong. So it's like weird. They're like, I'm not gonna trust intuition because it was wrong once, but I'm gonna trust my freaking mind that's been wrong every time. I'm gonna trust what my mom says, but I'm not gonna trust my intuition. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, just go with it. Even if it's wrong and it leads you somewhere that doesn't work out well, it's still unraveled something. So that's important too, right? Like, I went off trail and it was frustrating, but then I did this video and this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. So follow it. This video is already too long. Allow it to be. And if you have any questions, let me know. Either like email me at channelingthecosmos. If this is on YouTube, write comments. If you're doing sessions with me, ask me in the sessions. But I love you all. Hope that helps.